That's about all I have to say about rendering cues and the depth buffer, and now I present to you a challenge. I'd like you to figure out what the shader is that I'm using to display this mesh. I need to tell you first off that it is the same vertex colored mesh that we've been using. You can see the other polygons not showing up. And that's all you probably need to know in order to figure this out. So I'll give you a moment to think, and then I'll give you a hint. Here comes the hint. We're going to move the camera. Another hint, there is no blending whatsoever going on in the shader. And now I'm going to reveal it. This is the entire shader we're seeing here. Just binding the vertex colors and showing those on screen, but with Z-Write off. So each of the polygons in this mesh is performing a depth check. It's only rendering if it's closer to the screen than the pixels, or the pixels of the polygons are only rendering if they're closer to the screen than what has already been rendered. But because we're not writing to the depth buffer, that means that every single pixel of this mesh will be rendered. It just might be overwritten. So that means that the polygons that we don't end up seeing were potentially being sent to the screen, but they're being rendered before the two polygons that make up the black background. So these two polygons that are black overwrite the things we see in outline, and then finally we see some color left over, and these polygons are obviously being rendered after the black quad. And then finally there's the grid of Unity. It's also performing a depth check. Normally in Unity you don't see the grid through your objects, but because Z-Write off is on, we see the grid everywhere.